Hello, friends. Welcome to Tammy's Knitting Podcast. I am Tammy, your host for today's podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and spending some time with me. We have not videoed in almost a month. Today is March 3rd. The last time I think I podcasted was like March 6th, 5th, 6th, something like that. So it's almost been a month. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have some new bags to go into the website, a new design that I plan on putting onto the website, some finished objects, and a lot of knitting WIPs, some acquisitions, and a new toy that I want to talk about. And then what's been going on and what we have going on this weekend. So if you guys are interested in any of that, stick around. Okay, so usually the first thing that I do in these knitting podcasts is I will go over updates to the website. For those of you who are new here, I sell project bags, knitting bags, crafting bags. I'm getting into some crossbody bags as well, not just knitting bags. So I have those into the shop. And my website for that is Tammy's Homesteading Crafts. All of that information will be linked down below in the show notes. Okay, so let's show a couple of some of the bags that we have. The first set is knitting chicks with knitting fabric on it. This is pretty cute. I saw these. I thought the little chicks were cute. It's paired with a turquoise on the inside, or a teal aqua color. I've got a yellow drawstring. I have a small and a medium drawstring. This is the small. I also put out some snap bags. This is a medium snap. I have a small and a medium snap to go with that. And then, of course, we have some notions pouches with the little chick on the back of them. So we have these in the shop as well. Okay, so then the next is going to be our knitted bunnies. Again, we have the cute little knitted bunnies. I've got aqua on the top. It's paired with a pink on the inside. We have a small and medium drawstring in this. And then our medium snap, the key tag or the wristlet matches the drawstring strap on the drawstring ones. Of course, the pink on the inside. And we have a small and a medium with that as well. And along with our notions pouches. And it's got the pink on the inside. Okay, the last one that we have is, I think this is really super cute. It is like love bunnies. I'm calling this my knitted love bunnies. Very, very cute. A darker aqua on the top. We paired it with purple on the inside. We also have a small and medium drawstring in this. And then here is the snap version of that. Again, we have a small and a medium. This is the medium. And then the little notions pouches to go with that. Purple on the inside of those. So those are the newest bags that I have onto the website. The next bag that I'm going to talk about, I just made it yesterday, working to try to see if it's something that I can duplicate multiple and add into the shop, and it is a basket. It's called a divided basket. It's got two nice size deep pockets. The divider attaches to the bottom of the lining, so stuff does not go through either side. So what you put in here stays in here. What you put in here stays in here. They don't slide under. That divider is connected to the bottom of the lining inside there. There is a nice deep pocket here this pocket can be divided into 2, 3, or just leave it as a whole pocket. And then it has some nice little handles. I did this, I needed some baskets, and I'm probably going to make a couple of more, but I just needed some baskets. And I ended up having some pleather that somebody had given me, and that's what I used. I used that. I wanted it to be nice and sturdy because some of the stuff that I put in baskets is pretty heavy, and my crocheted baskets were just not holding it all. So that's what I plan on using some of these for, is to just put some things into it and make it so that it holds. I have a ton of zippers of different sizes. I want to be able to put the one size in here, the other size in here, and be able to pull out what I need. So, but these are going to be a new design on the website. I plan on doing these. They're not going to be on the website as of yet. I haven't made any extra. When I get them made, I will show them, and they will get put on the website at that point in time. Okay, so that is it for the update to the shop. A quick thing, I just want to say thank you to everybody who purchases from the shop, the website. I really appreciate the support, and thank you. Okay, let's get into our knitted objects that we have, our finished objects that we have. Last year, at the end of the year, I wanted to try to come into the new year with very minimal WIPs. And I came into the year with more than I wanted to. I ended up coming in with 4. We are now down to only 1 that we've carried through. But in January, if you guys had watched, I ended up doing the 10 days of cast on. Each day I cast on a new project. And these socks were one of the cast ons that I did. They started out to be the crooner socks, but the pattern was just a little bit too fiddly for me. So I decided that I was just going to use up my yarn and do some stripy socks. So I call them my watermelon socks. This variegated color here is watermelon sugar. And then this green color is just a green that I got. Both of those came from Kimber's Cozy Creations in their monthly colorways that I was getting. The pink was given to me in a swap when we did a swap. And I literally ran out of the pink, ended up putting in what I had left of the variegated. And then I started with my toe thinking I would have enough of the brown. And I didn't quite have enough of the brown. And I ended up doing a very little hot pink toe. It kind of reminds me of the sock monkey socks that my grandma used to make them all the time for me, that the heel was red, and they used to use that for the mouth and the butt of the sock monkey when you did the sock. And that's kind of what this reminds me of, because I have my bright pink right there on the toe. But I used every inch of the material that I had, and that is great. So those are now done. Now that I showed them, they can put into my cycle, and I can start wearing them. I needed some new socks. I had to throw away a couple of pairs the other day because I had holes in the bottom of them. And it's almost quicker to knit a pair than it is for me to darn, because I hate darning. Okay, so that was one of my projects from my 10 days of cast on. And I don't know how many projects I have left. I think I only have 3 left of my 10 days of cast on, but we'll see. And then this is the next thing that I got done. And this is Wild Diamonds cowl that I had. The yarn on this is from Hobby Lobby, and it is their soft and sleek DK. It really does not feel like a DK. It's very soft and it's very plush, but even after it was blocked, it did not bloom like a DK. I'm thinking it's more of a sport weight. It's very soft, very warm. And I've actually, after I blocked it, I've had it up here in the office waiting to do my podcast. And if I'm cold, I'll just grab it while I'm working and I'll put it around my neck. It's very warm. I really like it the way it fits, and I've worn it quite a few times. But this one was, I think, day 4 of my cast on, and I got this done. Okay, so now the next thing that I got done, and this I have to say was a labor of love, because I started this project 3 times, I think, before I actually got it finished. And that is my comeback Cardi. I finally did get it finished. I'm happy with it. I'm not, there's a couple of things that I'm not happy with, but right now I'm not planning on fixing. It could be something that I could fix, but I'm not planning on doing it at the moment. And when I show you, turn it around, I'll show you. But I started out with my variegated, and I ended up running up. Once I got here, I ran out of, well, almost out of the variegated. So I did the last 2 sections with the solid green because I had quite a bit of that. And then I had enough of the variegated to do the cuffs on both of my sleeves. Now, when I did my collar, this is the side I picked up first, and I ended up picking up a few too many stitches right just in this section right here, and it puckers a little bit. The other side lays really nice and flat. I picked up the right amount of stitches, and yeah, and I could fix it, but I did not catch it until I had hooked all these together and was done. And then I laid it down and I was like, wow, I don't like that. But 3rd time's a charm. I finished it and I wanted it to be done, and I just did not want to deal with it anymore. So I ended up, I'm done with it. I will, like I said, I could fix it, and I might eventually, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to do right now. The problem is, if I cannot get this out and save the yarn, I have no more of this yarn. I literally ran out of the green. There was no green left. And let me show you. Let me try not to knock the camera over. Oh, I put it in here. It's right. This is how much I had left of the variegated. I wouldn't have had enough to finish either one of the rows, because the way once you stop, you split for sleeves, then you do this front panel and this, and then you go over here and you do this front panel and this, and then you come to the back and you do the back whole piece. And this would not have been enough to do all of those 3 sections. So that's why I stopped, and I had quite a bit more of the green. But yeah, I literally had no green left, and then just this much of that left. So I like it. I love the way it turned out. I like the way it fits. I'm just not happy with this portion of the collar, and I hope on the next one I will do better at picking up the collar. But it fits really nice, and I plan on wearing it. Okay, and that yarn, get it back, that yarn is from Long Meadow Farms, and it was in her one-of-a-kind bins, so there was no way to get this duplicated. Both of those skeins were something that was a one-of-a-kind only skein, so there was no way I was going to get them duplicated. So I needed to make sure that I was able to have enough to finish both of those. Okay, so the next thing I got done, and this was one of the ones that I came in from 2025 with. I started this on my birthday, and I finished it probably the 24th, 25th of February. And then this is my Goldfish Memories wrap. I started this on Christmas Eve, and then I finished this on the 28th. 27th, 28th, something like that. But this yarn is from Cornbread Honey. This variegated yarn here is called Life's a Showgirl, and then the other two are coordinating colors that go with it. But it's this is the Goldfish Memories wrap, and yeah, I love it. I like how it turned out. I'm happy with it. I have not blocked it yet. I just have to take the time to block it. And usually I try to wait till there's at least 2 or 3 things to wash so that I don't waste all my water. I try to make sure I have enough to wash more than one thing. And then I put it in the spin dryer. But those are all of my finished objects. Okay, let's talk about our WIPs. We have some of them. We have 3 that are coming in. I have 3 left from my 10 cast-ons of the new year. No, 4. 4 left. I have my Kayla tee, which I have not done any work on that at all. And then the other knit that's coming in from 2024 is my Spectre tee, which again, I have not done anything on those. And that's a long sleeve, so it's kind of pushed off right now because I have some short sleeved tees that I want to get done. And the Kayla is one of them, and I will get that started a little bit more. I cast on, and then I got a new footstool because I got a new chair for downstairs, very similar to this one. And the footstool has a hidey hole in it, and I forget. I put knitting in there so it's not all over the floor around my chair, and I forget what's in there. So that's kind of why I haven't worked on that. But I wanted to get these done and get them off the needles as much as I possibly could. But the one thing I have worked on is my Mayma. I have gotten quite a bit of work done on this. When I podcasted last, I had just separated for sleeves. So I got a good 4 inches, if not more, done on this. And I'm super, super happy with this. Yeah, this yarn is from Cornbread Honey. It is Cosmic Bowling. And it is paired with an undyed. So that is where I'm at with this project. Okay, so the next project that I have been working on, I did a little bit on this. I didn't do a lot. And this is my other comeback Cardi that I cast on. Last time I was right here, I just finished the ribbing. I did my garter or my ridge bump that they call it. And then I just started getting into the actual part of the pattern. This is all one color, so it's just straight knitting. I don't have to worry about changing anything. And with this one, I'm going to keep the same pattern all the way through. Now that I have knit the pattern, I understand where you're going when you separate for sleeves. So I don't have an issue with doing the next pattern to be able to keep that going. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just keep one pattern all the way through. But yeah, hopefully that will keep up. I am using this Lena Loft Sport Weight yarn. I have one here that I have not caked up. I have caked up 6 other ones, and this is still the first one. I'm still in the middle of the first one, and I got quite a bit left of it yet. So I'm curious to know how far I'm going to get with one skein, so I know how many skeins I really need. I don't think I'm going to need the 7th one, but I have it just in case. Okay, and then the last project that I had from my 10 days of cast on is my Silfaberg sweater. And I'm not I've worked on it, but it's been redoing what I've done. I had gotten into the short rows, made a mistake in the short rows and had to take it back out. And I took it out and I just restarted it all last night and added on my collar. And now I just need to do the short rows. The problem is with the short rows, they're done in the round. Well, they're not done in the round. It is in the round and they're done back and forth. But in the middle of doing the short rows, I'm also doing a pattern on the back of the sweater. And I keep getting confused. Is that my wrap and turn, or is that the hole for my lace pattern that is on the back of that's starting on the back of the collar? So I need to mark it a little bit better, but then there's only 9 rows. I need to just sit down and do those without putting it down and get past my short rows. So I just need to make myself do it and get that part done. Once I get that done, the pattern will not be so bad because it's on the front and the back, but the pattern doesn't start on the front until after I'm done with my short rows. Okay. So those are all of the products or all of the WIPs that I had going into that I had as of last podcast. So now for the new cast-ons that I have. And I'm missing one. Let me go get it. Okay, so the first one that I cast on was a muscle burrow. And it's just one of those things. It's always nice to have a muscle burrow on the needles just for straight knitting, generic knitting, whatever you need to do. It's nice to just have one on the needles. So I ended up putting another one on the needles. I don't even know what yarn this is. I have no clue. There's no ball band in there. So yeah, this is my muscle burrow. I've got all the increases done. I'm just ready to just straighten it for quite a while. So this is something to be able to, I've got it in one of my little wrist bags that I can put on my arm and just knit as I'm going along. This will, go with me for a lot of different places because it's an easy, no thinking knit. Okay, so the next thing that I cast on is what's the name of this? Seeking Solace Cowl. And yeah, I just did a little bit of this the other day. Yeah. And the yarn is, the pink is from Kimber's Cozy Creation, one of her colors from her Year in Color. It is Ruby. And then this is from Cornbread and Honey, and it is her April Patreon for 2024. So it's just a very light pastel-y color. It's got a little bit specks of this bright color. And I thought it was a cute pattern. Let me pull it up on my tablet and show you what it looks like. So that is the pattern. Okay. So then the last thing that I cast on is the gingerbread sweater. And this is got some color work in it. I am going to do 2 of them, but right now I only have one cast on. And one I'm going to make short sleeved, which is what I'm working on now. And then I'm going to do a long sleeved one. So let me show you what I have picked out for that. I ended up getting my collar done. And I'm ready to do the short rows. This yarn, whoops, I probably am way too high. This yarn is from Cornbread and Honey. And I don't know, I think it was either her last year local yarn store day or her birthday colorway. I'm not really sure which one. We were trying to figure that out the other day when I sent her pictures of it, because she has a birthday in March, and then she has the anniversary of her opening up her shop in October. And I know it wasn't from that. So it was either from her birthday or local yarn store day, one of the two. But I ended up getting 2 of these skeins, and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to have dark purple as my color work in there. I think that'll look really sharp when it is done. So I just started this the other day. I'm ready to start my short rows. And again, it's one of those things when I do short rows, I just need to sit down and do all the short rows and then be done with it. And I just didn't get back to it. I just cast this on Saturday, I believe. Saturday or Sunday. I think this one was Sunday. That other one was Saturday. Okay. And then the very last thing that I cast on is, and you guys know how I am with my, once I finish something and I have yarn left over, I want to make a hat to match. So I pulled my 3 colors together from the Life of a Showgirl colorways, and I'm knitting myself a hat. And if there is any left over from the hat, which I believe there will be, I should have enough of these 3 colors to do myself a pair of socks. And then I will have used all of the yarn from this. That's my goal when I get some skeins out, is to try to use all of it as much as I can so that I don't have a ton of little skeins laying all over the place. I'm not big on using little skeins, so I just figured I would try to use it up as best I could. So those are all of my new cast-ons that I have and all of the WIPs that I have going on for this section. Okay, so now let's get into acquisitions. I get Cornbread Honey's Patreon, and that is basically just a monthly yarn subscription that I get from her every month. And last year, she got a little bit behind. She usually sends them out every 3 months. So she'll send 3 skeins at a time. And when it was time to send the 3 skeins, she was in the midst of getting all of her, oh, I got something in my eye. Getting all of her advents put out. So she got a little bit behind, and then she was going to catch up after Christmas and then ended up sick. And she didn't get caught up until the middle of January. And so she shipped my skeins to me. So I have September 2025 to January 2026 to show you. So this is September, a nice, very pretty pink and burgundy with some green. Really pretty, and a little bit of lighter pink in there as well, down in there. Very pretty. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with this one, but it's pretty. Okay, and that was September. October is this one, another pretty color with the reds and the golds, some blues in there and some tans, and maybe a little bit of purple strips in there, specks and stuff. Very pretty. Not one that I would pick when I go to the shop, but I do like it. This is why I get these monthly colorways, because I get things that I would not pick myself, but I like after I see them or knit them up. And then this is November's. And again, it's not one that I would pick for myself, but I do like it. It's got some blues and some goldy yellows with light tan and almost undyed in there. There's just a little bit of color in that there. It's not quite as long as undyed. And then a corally color here at the bend, you know, a muted coral color. So very pretty. Okay, and then December. December is my color. I really like this one. It is green and teal. Then you go to a light teal, and then you have some purple and blues, or some purple and pinks down there at the end. Very pretty. Very pretty. And then January 2026. And this is all purples with some grays and then a little bit of blue. Very pretty. Love the colors of this. Don't know what I'm going to do with any of these, but you know, you got them. Okay, so that is done with my acquisitions, except for the very last acquisition that I got. I ended up getting, and for those of you who know, I end up having my tags made by a person local. I buy the leather and he ends up doing the tags for me. And I've been looking to see about a laser machine so that I can see if I can do them myself. And I ended up buying a laser machine. And yeah, we're working on trying to figure it out. I made a couple of tags myself here the other day. So that was fun. But I will put in pictures here of unboxing and then using the laser a little bit. And then we'll come back and I will show you some of the things that I've made. Well, I told you guys we would be having an unboxing, and I got my surprise today. Some of you might have figured out what it was that I was getting, but let's see. You guys, we can figure it out here. What do we got? We have a laser machine. We are going to be able to add extra stuff onto Tammy's Homesteading Crafts. So let me get my tripod here and I will get this out onto the table. some of the things that I've tried to make, and it's been a little bit of a work in progress, trying to get everything to do what I want it to do. But I did get this little guy made. It burnt through over here on this little tag, but it's got, 6 stitch markers attached to it. And this is the design that I bought, and you're supposed to have it with the stitch markers attached to it like that. I don't know as I personally probably would not buy this. Maybe if it had the holes for gauging your knitting needles, it would be better. But right now, I'm not savvy enough with the machine to change that, to get rid of these hooks here and make holes for gauging. But I got it mainly so that I can do the little stitch markers themselves and get them. Those turned out really cute. And the little alpaca is really cute. But I wouldn't use it for that. I wouldn't. Now I don't know, and let me know in the comments if this is something that you would consider buying. I might consider making them. I do like just the stitch markers and stuff, but I like to use acrylic. I like the acrylic ones better. So I was really trying to make things out of acrylic. And the first thing that was actually not so detailed to make was to just these little flasks. And I thought I had it small enough. Well, that's pretty big stitch marker or progress keeper, but they are actually very light. If you had them on a sweater or something like that, they'd be easy to see. It did etch on the bottom of that so that you could see that there was something in the flask, the beaker. But that was my first attempt, and then I made it smaller, and then I got a smaller stitch marker. I tend to go too high. Got a smaller stitch marker here, and they turned out really cute. I ended up getting 6 or 8 of them. So like I said, I'm getting a little bit better. It's just taking some time figuring it out. The other day, so this is a bit thicker. This is like a 3 mil acrylic, and this is a 1 mil acrylic, and it did pretty good. You can read what it says on there, and you can see all the etching on it. The only thing is, I think when I cut around too many times, and it's a little scratchy and it's a little rough, where I think if I wouldn't have cut as many times around, it would cut out one time and I would be okay with it. I think. I don't know. I've got to play with it a little bit more. When I bought this acrylic, I did not realize that it was thinner. Thinner is a little easier for the machine to handle. And this, of course, is a needle gauge. And it was a design I already had. It was already designed. I didn't have to design any of this. Because like I said, I'm not there yet with being able to make my own designs and do those. Right now, I'll be buying the designs from other people and just using what I have. The last thing that I made that actually turned out super cute are these. They're called bread clips. They're bread tags, and you just put the end of your bread bag in here. Instead of using the plastic one that comes from the store or the twist tie, you put the bread clip in there, or the bread end of the bag in there, and it just holds your bread. Super cute. That was just a pattern, and I was like, something to be able to just get the machine to knit out or to work and do its thing. So there was a whole bunch of little different animals for that. But so that is my new toy that I have been playing with for the past week and a half. So that is one of the reasons I didn't get as much knitting done as I really wanted to. Okay, so life, what has been going on? Other than playing with my new toy, I did a little bit of sewing, as you saw, designing, getting the new bag and doing that. I've just been working, getting work has been a little crazy. The end of February. February is always a busy month for us at the office because it's the last final push to get everything submitted for the end of 2025. They give us 2 extra months because we're able to submit stuff from December in and to allow the providers to sign their notes so that we can get everything sent in. And it's just trying to push and get last minute things submitted so that we can get as much credit for stuff done as possible. So it was just a little bit of a busy month. It's going to start easing up a little bit here because there won't be as much to do because they're just now starting to reopen them again to add in for 2026. And they are slow as opening things up. But this weekend, I am going to my knitting retreat, and that's the one in Chautauqua that we go to in March. Looking forward to that, being able to sit with knitting friends and just to have a nice long weekend of just knitting and chatting and doing whatever we want to do. So that's going to be a fun weekend. But other than that, I don't think there is anything else I have going on. I think I've talked about everything, showed you guys everything that I have, and that's it. So I don't know when I'll be back. We will see. I'm hoping maybe this weekend when I am at the retreat, I will remember to video a little bit. I would like to do a video of the house to show you guys what the house looks like inside. I've done outside pictures, and I usually get there early enough that there's not that many people in there that I can show pictures of the inside of the house to show you what it kind of looks like inside. That's my plan. We'll see if it happens. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and sitting and chatting with me. I appreciate every one of you who watches my videos, likes, subscribes, and comments on my videos. And thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Bye.